Did I just catch me meditating?
What'd you say?
Are we live?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Elevating Men. Tonight, I will be your host, the one and only the Lauren Jones, and I got two of my brothers here with me. Got my man AB, Mr. Dinner in Dialogue, also one of the co-founder or one of the founders of restin2050.org. Good evening to you, brother.
Hey, good evening. Good evening, Facebook. Good evening, everybody.
And then right below me, I have the one, the only Mr. LaRon Barnes, a.k.a. LaRon the Motivator, a.k.a. LBZ, is in the building. Good evening to you, sir.
What is up? What is up? What is up?
Good to have you in the building tonight, brother. So, Facebook, we got to do it. Let's just get it out the way. Shout out to the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. They got another chip. The dynasty is in the making. It is beginning. Congratulations to the boys. Other side notes. This coming Saturday from 9 to 11 a.m., we will be having the second Man Cave Prayer Breakfast at the Oasis Church. We will be providing full detail on our Elevating Men Facebook page. So please, please, please go there to get the full information. But it is this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Oasis Church. We are calling all men. All men. We are calling you out to join us for free breakfast and great dialogue. Free breakfast and great dialogue. So if you have any questions, you can give me a call, 816-405-9988. It will also be on the information that we release tomorrow. So please, anybody that you know that you think could benefit from this, which is all of us men, please be in the building. Please be in attendance. We do ask that you RSVP so that we just know the numbers so that we can make sure we have enough food for everybody. We want to make sure y'all fed and fed at the same time. So be on the lookout for that information there. Also, everybody tuning in live, please, please, please like, love, share. Go to our elevatingmen.com website. Please subscribe to our website, elevatingmen.com. But without further ado, gentlemen, let's get it going. So, the last 3 weeks, we have been tackling this conversation surrounded around forgiveness of self, trust or the lack of trust in ourselves, and the inability or the challenge as men of just connecting with one another and building those connections. Of course, week one, forgiveness of self. It was such a powerful show just to be able to understand the reasons why, for whatever reason, we choose not to forgive ourselves. Week two, the challenge in connecting as men, right? We have this competitive nature about us all that doesn't allow us to necessarily make the proper connections with each other as men in order to better ourselves, in order to create the networks and the connections that we need to elevate to the next level. And then trust. Why don't we trust others? Why can't we even trust ourselves? Even before trusting others, our inability to trust ourselves and the pain that we go through, and our inability to find those pockets, those connections that we can free ourselves in a way. So I will start with you. What were some of the biggest takeaways from the last 3 weeks that you feel like helped you, in a sense, find a different method in order to, learn to forgive yourself, to connect with others, to learn how to trust yourself? Is there any takeaways that you have from the last 3 weeks? You're muted. Go ahead and unmute.
Yes, that's the easy answer. And Forgiveness. I have to remind myself that forgiveness is a daily process, sometimes a multi times per day process, because what forgiveness for me was and is, it's a reminder of a yesterday that won't come back. And I'm so busy trying to build this yesterday through my connections that it's hard for me to trust my tomorrow because of my yesterday. So the biggest takeaway for me was yesterday is dead and gone. Yesterday is dead and gone. And I can either believe that, fully understand what that really means, and most importantly, accept that and move into my tomorrow through my today.
I love it. I love it. I like the way you meshed all 3 weeks together. I will now go to you. And I think you were on all 3 episodes, I believe. No, you missed one. Yep, you did miss one. And you can go ahead and mute yourself so you can prepare to respond. When it comes to the challenge of connecting, right? As men, we have such a competitive spirit that instead of connecting, we're trying to push each other away because we want to win and we want the entire victory to ourselves. We don't want to connect with other people that can kind of help us grow and elevate. When it comes to the challenges of connecting with other men, what are some suggestions that you can share that you have applied in your own life that has helped you elevate from a level of connectivity with others?
When it comes to connecting with others, I guess the where it comes down to, Lauren, man, is it comes down to really just being able to be vulnerable. Because if we're going to connect with anybody, we got to learn to be vulnerable. We got to learn to open up, and it's scary. We talked about that. Vulnerability is very, very scary. But the only way we're going to be able to connect with people is if we're vulnerable, is if we're open. And let's face it, we got to understand that people will always be people. People will always let you down, point blank, period. I don't care. Your spouse will let you down. Your best friend will let you down. Your coworker, your mother, your father. Everyone in life will let you down at some point because they won't pull through with what they said they would pull through with. And so it's learning to accept that we don't even pull through. We don't pull through with everything that we say we're going to do. We have flaws just as well. So being able to accept people's flaws, being able to accept the fact, you know what? Everybody's not going to get it right. I don't expect nobody to be perfect. I'm not even perfect myself. Letting go of perfectionism, letting go of being scared, being vulnerable, and saying, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to allow myself to be able to be hurt a little bit. That's not something that we're taught. No, I'm not letting myself be hurt at all. But if you open up to someone, you can expect hurt. You can expect, now, I'm not saying you are supposed to allow people to hurt you and just trample over you and just do you wrong. But look, if somebody's not consistently doing it and intentionally doing it and they make a mistake, or they make a few of the same mistakes, learn to forgive them, let go, and understand that, and be able to say, you know what? Let's keep this relationship going. As long as it's a healthy one and not a toxic one. Vulnerability is the way to connectivity. If you want to connect with the right person, you have to be open enough with them so they can be open enough to you with you. Because no one's going to open up to you if they feel that you're holding back. Think about it. Would you open up to somebody that you felt had something they...
That's deep. That is absolutely deep. You hit on something that I want to ask, and I'll give you a second. But you talked about a toxic relationship versus a healthy relationship. AB, I want to come to you with this question: how do we identify relationships that are healthy and relationships that are toxic? Is there a way for us to identify the difference in between the two so we know that, you know, repeated efforts, that person is not going to change their behaviors and they're not good for us versus some a healthy relationship where somebody kind of just did us wrong in a moment. It wasn't really intentional. It just kind of happened. Is there a way for it to be able to identify the difference?
I believe so. I believe that we can identify the difference between a healthy relationship and a toxic relationship. I also believe that we can identify the difference between the beginning of a healthy relationship and the beginning of a toxic relationship. And some of those identifiers include actually when you're getting dressed for that first date, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and ask that particular person that you see, one, who are you? Two, what do you do? Three, where do you do it? When do you do it? How do you do it? And why do you do it? Ask those questions. And then, after you answer those questions and you know those answers to that particular question, then you ask yourself, what do I want from this person? What do I want from this particular encounter? And why do I want it? If any of those questions actually have an answer, that is a toxic relationship. That's the beginning of a toxic relationship. If any of those two questions has an answer, what do I want from that person? Why do I want it from that person? That is the beginning of that toxic relationship, meaning I am the beginning of this toxic relationship because I am now looking outside of me for something that's missing that I need, that I have not fulfilled myself. And therefore, I am not even in a position to actually offer this particular person all of me because there are things that are missing from me. The third thing and the last thing is what am I about to propose? Where is my proposal? Is it written down? Do I have my proposal? Is it already in my hand, ready to hand this particular person? And that proposal is actually a synopsis of all that stuff you talk to that person in the mirror about. Because if you have nothing to propose, if you have nothing to offer, then you're just a consumer out to want, or still I say a wanter out to consume. And that's toxicity in the making. We can't hear you, Lauren. Can't hear you. So until Lauren fixes that, LaRon, are you on? Can you hear me? Go ahead and
I can hear you.
Go ahead and what do you believe are some of the traits? We still can't hear you, Lauren. Some of the traits of a toxic relationship. Or oh, there you are. There's Lauren. Oh, you're in and out. Say it again. Can't hear you. Go ahead, LaRon. Go ahead, LaRon.
He said you're gonna come back on. I can kind of see his lips. No, you're good. You're good. I mean, traits of a toxic relationship. That's a very good question, and that's a very great thing to watch out for. When it comes to traits of a toxic relationship, sorry about that. I thought somebody. When it comes to having traits of a toxic relationship, I look at. I'm just gonna say it, liars. When I think about you there, Lauren, can you hear us? Are you back in? Okay. But now I was thinking about the thing that you have to know in a relationship is that you can trust the individual. And if an individual that you can, if they're not open with you, and truthful with you, that's an indication of a toxic relationship. Because when you get in certain scenarios and situations, being able to depend on that person, we're not going to be able to do. And the thing about it is that pay attention to how people move. Now, a lot of times that we pay attention, we're not paying attention to how people actually move. And there's nothing wrong with extending grace to people, but people show you who they are. Point blank, period. People show you if they're a snake, if we pay attention to them. That's why I said pay attention to what what they people say, if they're lying, if they're honest, if they're truthful. Pay attention to their character. And what I'm saying is, if somebody's deceitful, those are traits. Deceitfulness is a trait. Watch how they talk about other people to you. Because if they're talking about other people to you in a certain way that is dogging them, they're probably talking about you too. The traits are in how they are responding or talking to you about other people and situations. They're not going to tell you that to your face. Most people won't tell you that to their face, but they'll tell you that about somebody else. You hear what I'm saying? So paying attention to how they are responding and reacting to the scenarios in life will tell you the traits of a toxic relationship. And one last thing. If you don't like if you don't like what they're saying about other people to you, or how they said they responded to a scenario in life, if you don't like it and it's unhealthy and toxic to you, that's the traits of a toxic person and having a toxic relationship.
So it's interesting. You're talking about toxic relationships. Why is it then that we get stuck in toxic relationships? Why do you feel like we get stuck in those toxic relationships that pull us down instead of elevating us?
Can I answer that, AB? Or you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Look, I'm lit, bro. You got me lit over here, man. You got me lit. No. Look, we don't know our value. We don't know our worth. We have insecurities. We look for validation. Validate so they get what they want out of us. But they really don't mean what they say, because their actions show something different. And so because we don't feel worthy, because we don't believe that we can have better, we want better, but we don't believe we deserve better. Because of that right there, it's our own insecurities. So we stay in relationships that are toxic. We stay in abusive relationships because nobody's going to want me. Nobody's going to respect me. So I might as well settle for what I'm getting right here, because I probably don't even deserve this. And so we stay in those relationships, and they drain our lives, bro. They destroy our spirits. They deplete us. And now we got to live year after year after year after year trying to build ourselves back up for some stuff that we shouldn't even been in. Don't allow people to treat you any kind of way. Stop allowing people. Know your worth. Know your value. You have something special. You are something special. Do you hear what I'm saying? Man, look, bro. All right, I'm done. Let me digress.
Loud and clear, brother. AB, I will let you kind of jump in. Same question to you.
So I can't answer that question. I'm not going after him. No, you better ask me why is the sky blue. I can answer where God came from versus me. So yeah, wow. Birds of a feather flock together. Toxicity knows toxicity. It's like, I am not going to remember the photo of the mask that Andrew put up. And
yes.
So, and it was my opinion, it was my belief that was not the mask. That was my original face. So I'm not going to take my original face to, let's say, college when I can't read, because there's a strong possibility that no matter how much I fake it, people are going to hear my words, and they're going to hear the use of my words, and they're going to hear the lack of order and meaning in my words. They're going to see me. So I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go to church with a hard on, because they're going to know that I'm not necessarily there for the preaching. I'm not going to go to, let's say, the park, looking for a date, because no, I'm not going to go where I don't feel worthy or of value, like LaRon was saying, because I don't have it in myself. What I fail to realize is my preparation. And this goes back to that person in the mirror, meaning, what do I want? Who am I? If I don't even know myself, and I'm not prepared to actually not only know myself, but to develop myself. If I'm not worthy or ready to put the value in myself so that I can know who I am and why I am, and proudly speak on who I am, then I'm automatically putting that on somebody else to accept what I don't even accept, and then get mad at them if they don't help me build it. That's toxicity 101 right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, well, before I keep going, I want to say hello to everybody in the audience tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share. We have Miss Monica Smith. Welcome to the show. I believe it's your first time on here. You feel free to share this, invite anybody that you want. We welcome everybody into this conversation, because the only way we grow and to elevate is to do it together. So thank you so much for tuning in. No, you guys have both said mouthfuls, and I think what I am hearing from the both of you is it starts with self. We can't rely on other people to tell us who we are. We have to have knowledge of self before we walk into any situation, any relationship, to understand uh, our true value before we enter, so that we show our true value once we step in the door. And so, knowledge of self is so utterly crucial to people seeing us for who we are, and also for us to know that the way we're being seen is exactly the way we want to be seen. And that is about knowledge of self. We talk a lot about trust, and for some of us, we have trust issues because we didn't have fathers in our home. For others of us, we were hurting, maybe in church, or maybe it was in school, and so we've created these walls, and we've put up these walls to not allow people in. And I, have learned over the years to trust everybody. Like you put out so much energy trying to size people up in a moment. You put out so much energy that I'm like, trust everybody. They will reveal themselves over time. You don't have to become best friends with everybody from Jump Street. Now, some people you will create a natural chemistry with off the bat, whether that's in a friendship type of relationship, or in some cases in a relationship with someone that you want to be with romantically. You have that instant connection, that instant chemistry, and even in that, you have to trust the process. Allow those relationships to evolve. And LaRon, I love what you said when you mentioned that people will hurt you. A lot of times it is not on purpose. And I think I said this last week, that they don't intentionally hurt you, they are not in a place to be able to help you in the moment. And our expectations are jaded. And so once they do hurt us, we quickly want to write them off. Just boom, I'm writing you off. You know what I'm saying? You did me dirty, you did me wrong. And it's like they weren't in the space in that moment to be able to be that person that you needed them to be. And I think sometimes we try to be those people instead of saying, hey, you know what? This isn't my time. I can't help you in the moment because I am going through something right now. Or maybe it's an area that you struggle in. And, you know, we like to use this cliche, hurt people. And it's true, but I don't like it. And the reason that I don't like it is because if hurt people, we're all hurt people. So does that mean that we don't have the ability to help people? No. And I think that that's where we have to be careful that we don't overuse that statement, you know, hurt people. I think what we have to say is, you know, everybody has the ability to hurt you. You have to discern whether or not it is intentional or not. And I think that is how we have to look at that situation. Otherwise, we would never help each other because we would all have these walls up that says, well, he's going to hurt me because he's hurt. So I can't take nothing from him or I can't take anything from her. And that actually, those walls, some people aren't going to take the time to try to break them down and get to know you. They're just better off investing their energy somewhere else. And so I think we have to be, I do think we have to be careful when we use that statement, because I think you can block a blessing just as quick as you can, you know, build up that wall as a form of protection. That could be the person that you need, but because hurt people, you're not allowing them to come into your life. You're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to allow them to come into your life to give you something that you may need, whether it's in the moment or whether it's, you know, it's that best friend or that really close friend that you have that you engage with all the time, you know. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Say something. Monique, we rather call you Monica. So sorry about that.
Oh, Monique. Did I say Monica?
But
My bad, Monique.
Question for you guys. Have I ever helped you all out in any situation? Just yes or no. Okay. I am a hurt people.
Elaborate.
I am a hurting people. I am a person who is hurting. I'm hurting. So when you say hurt people, you also see it something like hurt people can help people also. Mm-hmm. So please know that I'm hurting, but yet I am also here to help. Hurt people can help people also. And you talked about something a little about trust, investing your trust in someone. For me, it goes back to, why do I need that trust? Why do I need you to hold that ladder for me? Why do I need to stand on your shoulders at that particular time? Is it that I don't truly realize just how heavy I am and your frame is, not as sturdy enough to hold all of my weight? Because I don't know your history with your bad back, or I don't know that you're about to sneeze and I'm going to fall. I don't know all of the things about you, but most importantly, I don't know why I need to invest this particular level of trust in you. Probably because I have not investigated my proposal, knowing who I am, what I am, and where I'm going, and including what pieces I need to put in place for me, not for you to fulfill, but for me, that I need to put in place for my plan. You might be a piece that I'm putting into this plan, that I'm actually telling you, this is where I see you fitting. And what you will tell me is, all of this over here, this is what comes with me. So all of this now has to fit into the plan. And now it has to be rearranged so that it fits properly, if that's what we eventually agree upon. But for me to actually not tell you the plan and say, well, hey, I need you to loan me $5,000. I thought it was clear to you that I'm building I'm rebuilding my credit. Oh, damn. So you saying that you couldn't have have good credit before you met me? Well, no, because my dad wasn't home or whatever. So I need you, and I need to trust that you're gonna always be there to help me rebuild my credit. So co-sign for me to get this car.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling you 100%. Do you think that do you think the biggest challenge in us being able to connect with each other as men, especially, is centered more around trust, or is it centered more around our inability to forgive ourselves? Therefore, we can't walk into a relationship feeling whole, in a sense that we can start to build the relationship that we're preparing to walk into. Is it trust, or is it lack of trust, or is it we just can't forgive ourselves, so we just can't forgive anybody? LaRon, I'll let you take that one.
I think it's both. I think it's our inability to forgive ourselves and trust other people for the hurt that they've caused us in the past. That we hold on to things and put everybody in one category. That we said, since they hurt me, they'll hurt me. This woman over here, she broke my heart. I can never trust another woman again, so I'm a dogger. That's where that stuff comes from. Someone was hurt because if they had a woman that loved them the way that they felt they needed to be loved, then they wouldn't treat women like that or use that excuse to dog women. You feel what I'm saying? So it's the hurt from other people that a lot of us hold on to. And then it's the unforgiveness, because there's things that we've caused to other people that we can't forgive ourselves for, let alone going to them and asking them to forgive us because we're exposing ourselves. Come on now. It's embarrassing. It's vulnerable. So I truly believe that it's both of those things. I believe that we have not, and we have a challenge forgiving ourselves, along with the fact of trusting people. And that's the problem. That's a huge problem. And so that's why we got to go in and we got to do some soul work. What's soul work? Some healing work, some forgiving work. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm learning to let go of the past so you can live and move forward in the future. Because as long as you're looking backwards, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have a fatality. You can't drive the vehicle looking backwards. You better drive looking forward. You better stop looking in that rearview mirror. Because when you keep looking back at the past, we're not allowing ourselves to be prepared for the future. We're not allowing certain relationships to be able to come in, to renew us, to refresh us. Because we're still looking in the past. We're still looking at that rearview mirror. We haven't forgiven ourselves. We're unwilling to forgive others. We're unwilling to let go. We're unwilling to move forward. It's both of them, bro.
Okay, so I want to ask a question.
Can I jump in before you move in there?
Yes.
So when I hear those comments, is it the lack of trust? Was it the lack of trust or unforgiveness? Was those the two options? Mm-hmm. So this is my lack of forgiveness for me. And this is my list of reasons why I do not trust. So this lack of forgiveness basically says that this is my past. This is what I cannot let go of, what has already occurred. This right here says that I really, really want to trust you, but a lot of things have accumulated to make me not want to trust. In between the two is me, my present self, and the reason why I want to move past my yesterday and into what it is that I really want from somebody else. And what that is a need. That need. Why does that need exist? Where did that need come from? What is that need fulfilling? Most importantly, Why didn't I actually identify that need and fulfill it myself before I came to the point of needing to trust somebody else to help me with this need? Meaning,
Interesting. Okay.
why can't I forgive myself enough to identify that, yeah, I did not know how to fulfill this point where I had this need. So let me work in these two sectors right here. Meaning, what can I do to better myself? Do I need more education? Do I need more understanding? Do I need more acceptance of self? And do I need more letting go? What is it that I need from this situation before I go into, okay, what signs do I need to look for before I need to trust this person? Is it too soon? What am I really asking them for? And what if they let me down again? And, you know, I don't want to focus on this. I don't want to focus on my responsibility in my yesterday. I'm looking for somebody to help me to get past my yesterday and into my tomorrow, but I'm missing the most important step of building this particular person so that this person is strong enough to not need either one of these books, to be able to let them both down and not put a trust in someone else, because I'm good and I'm here to give. I'm here to help. You are now my helpmeet, not my need fulfiller.
Gotcha.
Totally different concepts.
So I wanna go down a rabbit hole right quick. So follow me for a second. So we're gonna talk about a father and a son for a second. We're gonna talk about a father and a son. So you have father. Father didn't have his father in his life, and so he fathers a child, brings this child into his life, and since he didn't really know how to be a dad, he wasn't able to impart much into his child, his son. And so his son grows up without a father, angry. But that little boy in him still wants that connection with his biological father. He knows him, he knows where he's at, but they don't have that connection. Well, that father can't connect now because he's feeling the shame of not being there for his kid. And so now you got a father who doesn't know how to connect. You got son that doesn't know how to connect. And before we know it, son will have a son or a daughter and will continue down that path. And so how do we start to really bridge that gap? How do we tell the original father, hey, look, yes, you didn't do what you needed to do when he was a young boy, a young adolescent, but you still have an opportunity as he is growing into his manhood to be able to connect with him. How do we allow that father to release that shame so that he can actually be an integral part in his son's now? And I'll let either of you run with that. LaRon.
I want to make sure I understood it a little more clearly. Are you saying the son allowing the father to not feel guilt and shame for not being there the way that he should be? Is that ultimately what you're asking?
I'm saying the father not feeling shame from not being there, and so never actually taking the step to connect because he's got so much shame that he's just like, there's no way that I can move in now that he's a man by age.
Wow. That takes a lot of humility. I'll tell you that. It takes a lot of humility. It takes being. I'm being honest, that word humility is the one I want to stick with, because that's it. That's point blank it. I don't want to say nothing else but that. It takes a real humble man or a humble woman or a humble person to say, I know I haven't been all I could be. I know it. I told you all the story some time ago when I was over my in-laws' house and I was going to the car and I was looking at my daughter and I was watching her play. And I was thinking about how I was as a father. And so I got up and I was going out to the car and I stopped her and said, baby, come out here real quick. And we went to the vehicle and I sat her down and I looked at her and I said, you know, I love you, right? And she said, yeah, daddy, I know you love me. I said, I understand that a lot of times I get frustrated with you and I have a short temper at times and I yell at you sometimes because I'm frustrated. But I want you to know I love you and I'm sorry and I'm working on getting better. And she looked at me in my eyes. It was like, couldn't believe that I was saying this. She looked at me and was stuck. But I knew in my heart that I had to be vulnerable. There go that word again. I had to open up. I had to be willing to humiliate myself. It was humiliating. Yes, I was talking to a young girl, but it didn't feel comfortable. I was ashamed. I felt shame in the moment as I was saying it to my daughter. Shame. Here am I telling my 5-year-old that I know I'm not being patient. I know I'm not giving you as much attention as you desire because I'm doing this, that, and the other, because that's just an excuse to nothing. Because at the end of the day, when my daughter gets old, she's going to say, look at me, and I'm going to have to face the reality when she looks at me in my eyes and say, Daddy, you wasn't there. Because a father who's not present is the same as an absentee father in the effect, in the aspect of how your children, what your children benefit from you, or how your children benefit from you. Because if an absentee father's not pouring into them and you're not pouring into them and you're there, they're going to grow up still with a lot of things missing. So I had to humble myself, bro. And it takes that man to humble himself and know that we have to take responsibility, and we have to not be willing to live with that shame. And the reason why, only way we're going to not live with that shame and forgive ourselves is if we humble ourselves and go to that child. And
Fair enough. So what caused you to look in the mirror as the father that was ashamed, and what put you in a space where you said, I have to engage? Like what was that process like? Because that is where I believe a lot of men get stuck when they have kids, if they haven't been there, is, you know, the shame of everything that they didn't do. It grows like weeds, and before you know it, you walking outside in your backyard and your weeds are as tall as you. And so you just can't get to a space where you say, man, I gotta cut these weeds down, or I gotta spray some pesticide down so these weeds can start dying in order for me to see again. So what was that like? What was the internal conflict that you dealt with that you were able to push through in order to be able to get to that space with your daughter?
I love that question, bro. I love that question, Lauren. And I didn't want to have to look back and say I knew what I knew then and didn't do nothing about it. I didn't want to have to know that right now. I'm thinking it right now. But as I'm letting years and years and years and years pass, and I got to look at my 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, 20-year-old daughter and be like, I knew it in the process of it, but I didn't do nothing about it. I didn't want to have to look at myself in the mirror and say, you could have stopped it in the moment because you know it right now. Why would you wait 10 years from now? Why would you keep letting it play out? because you know you're going to have to face yourself in the future. You want to know the truth, Lauren? You want to know the truth. And I don't really share this too much because I understand that it was no harm intended, and I just love this person. There were some things that I internally dealt with when I felt like my mother wasn't there for me. My mother was in the home, but having so many kids, I didn't get the attention that I felt that I needed. So I know how it feels to feel neglected. And I did not want my daughter to come back and look at me the same way I looked at my mother. My mother's a wonderful woman, and she didn't mean nothing by it. It was a lot going on. It was kids. She had to work. It was life. But I didn't want to have to come back, Lauren, bro. And I didn't want to have to look at my daughter in the eye and say, baby, I'm sorry. I wanted to fix it now. That's what made me change it, bro. And I said, baby, I know I have not been there, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to change it.
Yee, doggy. That's deep, brother, but I love it. I love it. I do. Because that in itself, it was healing for her, and I have to hope that it was healing for you all at the same time, right? Because not only are you facing her, but you're also facing yourself in your past and learning in the moment how to move on from what happened to you so that you don't repeat those same steps, you know. And we talk about, you know, generational curses, generational issues that, you know, continue through bloodlines, and it takes, you know, a strong individual to really break those cycles, man. So I definitely 1000% commend you, you know, for having to face yourself in order to make a situation better. AB,
And
I know you.
I want to clear this. And I also want to just make this real quick statement, not long at all. My mother was an amazing woman, bro. Let me make that very clear. Wasn't abusive, had loved every last one of her children. I just had to understand later on down the road, we did have a conversation, and I told my mama how I felt, and we both cried. We both cried. Both cried. And I'm not going to, I know we probably don't got time to go down that road right now, and that's perfectly fine. But I told my mother, I said, Mama, I feel like you wasn't there. I feel like you wasn't there. You were there, but you wasn't. And it hurt. And so I'm not going to go into that road right now. We had that for another date. But I did have a conversation with her, and our relationship shifted. It's a little different now. But ultimately, you know, we'll talk about that conversation later. But go to AB. I know this man of God got some things to say.
Well, AB is grandfather of the year.
I seen it.
You know. So, AB, I do want to ask you this because you had choices, because we all have choices. Why did you move to be closer to your daughter and your grandmen, as you like to call them? Why did you think it was important for you to make that move?
Because I'm dying.
I've heard this from you before. Elaborate.
Because I'm dying, and it's like I can either die with the regrets of all the things that I did not pass on, accomplish, give, share, love, especially to those who I know need it, or I could die fulfilling all of my wants, desires, whatever, and not care about anything outside of me. And my choice was to do exactly what my mother would have wanted me to do for her great-grandchildren, to do exactly what my grandmother did for me and my grandfather did for me, and persons in my lineage did for me. When they looked up at me and saw a need, and instead of going off elsewhere, they stood in that moment just for me and taught me just how beautiful it felt to have somebody stand in that moment. Were they there every moment? No. But in that particular moment, the ones that I remember, the ones that gave me the reason to want to give, those were the important moments to me. And I want to give of myself.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, y'all on fire tonight, man. Shoot, man. Shoot.
Man,
Shoot.
this
Shoot.
conversation is something. I literally was thinking about that. This is powerful, man. And I hope the people are really hearing this. This is really powerful. If you're hearing this, to speak to your soul, bro. Like, this is speaking to your soul. If you hear what's really being spoken here, there's healing in this conversation, Lauren. Like, there is healing in this conversation, and I hope y'all feeling this right here. Like, this is it's doing something to me.
So Lauren had used some analogies of weeds growing and all this sort of stuff. Imagine if we could help fathers understand that it's not too late for them to put on their overalls and become a farmer. And when I say become a farmer, the analogy is a farmer chooses. Farmer does not have to, but a farmer chooses to get up, sow the field, or move the rock first, and then sow the fields with seed, go through and water the seed, go back through and pull up some of the weeds that are growing in there. They do this process all year long. They harvest the crop. They do something with the crop to preserve it so that it will last throughout the winter. They do whatever they need to do. And they don't necessarily have time to say, damn, I need to forgive myself, because they know that winter is coming. So they have to now prepare the ground to protect itself so that the soil will stay rich. They have work to do. And then once winter breaks, spring is coming, they have to start the whole process back over daily. And even after they deal with the ground outside of the household, then they have to take the crops that they've grown and do something with that. The children that they've grown, they have to do something with that. Not only did they plant the seed, but they now have to do something with the seed to make sure that it does not spoil, that it does not get infested with bugs, that it does not go bad. They still have work to do inside of the home. And we haven't even gotten to his help me. We're only talking about his job. If he actually knew that his job, from the beginning of the moment that he had this idea to plant a seed, to put that seed into that fertile ground, and then to nurture that seed and move all the stuff away so that seed can grow, and then bring that seed inside and make sure that it stays free from harm, from pesticides and pests and so forth and so on. And then he takes that seed and introduces it to market. So he's with that seed from the moment that it comes out of him to the moment that it leaves him.
I love it. I love it. No, I agree that as men, we use this. We've been using a term quite a bit over the last month, which is vulnerability, and how when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, in more cases than not, good things happen. At the very least, there is a sense of understanding, about whatever situation you're in that you decided to be vulnerable in. And so I believe that we can say that a lot of this is going to start with our ability to just be vulnerable, whether it's in the moment or whether it's a culmination of moments. We have to be vulnerable and just be confident knowing who we are, what we have to offer will be put out there and it will not be confused. And so I definitely have really enjoyed these conversations, because we've gone in such depth about different things in different situations. LaRon got deep in talking about his mother and the pain that he endured, that he carried into his relationship for a while with his own children, and how he was able to free himself. You talking about, wanting to ensure that, the legacy that you pass on uh, is there. It is intentional. And I think that, those are beautiful things. LaRon, I actually, you brought up uh, a great topic that I do want to dive into in another show when we talk about mother and son. I do think that is a conversation that we definitely need to tackle, because what I have learned, and it sounds like you learned as well, is that our mothers were dealing with things, and so in dealing with things, maybe they had some areas of disconnect, some areas where they hadn't forgiven themselves, that filtered into, the relationship accidentally. It was by accident. So I do want to tackle that, in another show. But fellas, this has been a great series. We talked about forgiveness of self. You know, the trusting or the lack of, the challenge of connecting with others. LaRon, I want one takeaway, or I don't want a takeaway, I want a giveaway. I want you to give our audience one thing that you think they can take as they are trying to heal and forgive themselves and learn how to trust the right way and connect with others. What's one giveaway you can give to the audience that they can take in action?
Remember that we all hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. You're going to catch it. Catch this. We all are a mistake in a way.
Okay.
Every last one of us are a mistake in a way. And I'm not talking about from the aspect of God making us into a mistake. No, we all are filled with mistakes. No one will ever always get it right. When we look at other people and we begin to judge other people, reflect back on ourselves. Look at us. If we're honest, we're a mess. Understand that I always say people are going to be people. What does that mean? People are going to point you. People are going to hurt you. People that you trust are going to turn on you. People are people. And then I say, you know what? I may not have the same issues as other people, but I still got issues. And I'm able to look at it holistically and say, I got to forgive people and I got to forgive myself as well. Because nobody's perfect and I'm a person. Nobody's perfect and I'm a person. I'm a perfect person who's not perfect just as well as no one else. So accept your flaws. Here's your giveaway. Accept your flaws and accept the flaws of others. Know what level, I'm not even going to say that word, of toxicity. I don't know I hope I said that right. But know what level of energy you're willing to accept around you. And if you're okay with that, means set boundaries ahead of time. Not when you get in there and then try to set boundaries, because that's when you end up all messed up and confused. But set boundaries ahead of time of what you will not tolerate. And when someone crosses that boundary, when someone crosses that line, that's when you can go ahead and push away. That's the word I want to give you and the advice I want to give you holistically.
Good. AB, same question, please, sir.
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, forgive me, for I know not what I do. Father, forgive me, for I know not what I do. If that is true, if I believe that, if I understand that, if I accept that, then what can I now become? What can I now put in place of preparation to forgive? Meaning, I'm not going to have a plan. I'm not going to think this through. I'm just going to do it and ask for forgiveness because I knew not what I was doing. No, I can actually think about what I'm about to do. I can actually think about why I'm doing it, who I'm choosing to do it with or to. I can also think about all of those things, and I can actually think about some consequences, ramifications, things that come from that because of what I now know. I can actually think first now. I can actually be before I come, which helps me become that better person.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I love it.
Be before I come. Hey, yo, that was cold. Go ahead, Lauren. That was good. That was replay that one.
He ate his Wheaties before the show. What am I gonna give away? What am I gonna give away? I'm gonna give away a statement. One step at a time, one day at a time, one relationship at a time. You can't have it all at once. There's a process, and you have to trust that process. The process of forgiving yourselves or forgiving yourself so you understand how to properly forgive others. Learning how to trust yourself so that you learn the proper way to trust others and allow them in, welcome them in. Learning to connect with yourself so that you can learn how to properly connect with others. It all starts with self, and you have to do it a step at a time, a day at a time, a relationship at a time. Don't try to do too many things at once because you will trip, you will fall, and then you will get back up and you will be highly upset that you didn't go one step at a time, one day at a time, one relationship at a time. Audience members, we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, for rocking with us every single Monday. I love the commentary. Monique, Miss Monique, thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody that tuned in, please share this in your networks. It is our goal to open up this conversation to all men. This just is in our immediate circle. We want to open up this conversation to all men so we can all elevate together, not separate, but elevate together. LaRon, before we get off, how can the people get a hold of you? How can they learn about LaRon Barnes, a.k.a. LaRon the Motivator, a.k.a. LBZ?
Absolutely. Well, listen, yo, follow me on the Balanced Entrepreneur if you are an entrepreneur and you want to get your mind right. If you want to balance your life, if you want to have that inspiration, that motivation, that encouragement, that community, and to learn, grow, and network with each other, follow that page. Also go and check LaRon the Motivator out. That's the page, man. Listen, motivation, inspiration for your behind. And I got some content in there that can truly help you. I also want to offer this last thing, which is my coaching. Yo, I'm a life coach. I coach. I'm coaching someone right now with the spiritual realm, if we can say that. So if you want spiritual direction if you want a closer relationship with God, if you want life direction, I'm gonna tell you, you want that. If you want to overcome doubt, limiting beliefs, fears, insecurities, if you want to move forward in your life, but you find yourself stuck and you need some help, I want to help you. Reach out to me on LaRon the Motivator. Reach out to me on the Balanced Entrepreneur. You can as well. And I want to help you transform your life.
I love it. I love it. AB, Mr. Dinner and Dialogue, aka Resting 2050. Talk to him.
Hey, that's my contact points right there. Dinner and Dialogue on Facebook. Resting20.org, resting2050.org is the future. I'm praying that people will walk into this future with us because it's coming. Whether we stand up and walk into it already prepared, or we walk into it and wait to see what others have already prepared for us. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know any other way to say that. In the year 2000, a lot of you all were not this old, and when I say this old, meaning where you are now. And if you would have actually known and done something different in your year 2000, based on what you know now, and you've done something different starting in 2000, it's 23 years ago, your life would probably be different. If your parents would have did something different 40 years ago, your life would probably be different. Imagine that. Skip that imagination. Know that if we don't do anything different, that our kids will not reap anything different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I am Lauren Jones. You can find me by day if you need some wheels. Instead of you getting your wheels stuck in the mud, let me get you in a quality pre-owned vehicle. I offer financing, cash, everything that you need. I also have a green light buyers program. This is the best program, and the reason why is because you tell me what you want, I go shop, I go find it, and instead of you driving off the lot and saying I didn't even want this car, you actually are driving off excited because you got the car that you actually desired. So check me out, Lopez Boys Auto Sales. Want to send a shout out to Mr. A.L. Johnson. He is not with us tonight physically, but he is here in spirit. So check him out at A.L. Johnson Life Insurance Agency. He is about protecting legacy, building legacy through life insurance. And so please check him out, A.L. Johnson Life Insurance Agency. Again, this coming Saturday from 9 to 11, we will be having our second Man Cave Prayer Breakfast at the Oasis Church. Be on the lookout for more details on our Elevating Men Facebook page. Also, if you are a YouTuber, you can check us out on YouTube at Elevating Men. We've got tons and tons of content. This is not anything new. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. So we've got lots of content. We've dived into a lot of different subject matter. So I promise you that you will find something that you can connect with. And we hope that we will leave you some nuggets that you can take and apply as you move forward in life. So please check us out. You can also check us out at elevatingmen.com. That is our website. Stay tuned for more and more content that we will be releasing off of our website. So with that being said, fellas, thank you so much for the vulnerability that you provided tonight to be able to share your thoughts, your experiences, and your journey in order to help other people along their path. Audience members, don't forget to to share this in your networks so that together we grow by spreading the message that we are putting out into the atmosphere. Until next Monday, we will see you next time. Thank you.